Hello all, Mark Slane with the United States Krav Maga Association. Today talking about terrorist attacks such as the recent bombing at the Belgium airport. Not a lot we can talk about self-defense with such things, but we can certainly talk about self-protection. Seeing things before they happen, paying attention, knowing where these things are likely to happen. Now this could come in handy. Basically, of course, terrorists are looking to cause the maximum amount of damage, so they're looking for where people are. So if you're in malls or airports, sporting events, church, that's where we need to be especially vigilant, because that's the types of places that they're looking for, looking to cause damage and terror. What we need to do is pay attention. You know, in this day and age where everybody's looking at their smartphone, be original, be that one that's not. Be looking around. I know I am whenever I'm at a restaurant or any place. You know, I want to keep scanning, because I guess you never know. It's not really paranoid, it's just, I don't know, to me it's a safe way to live. Think about, again, the places that you're at. Look for things that are odd. You know, I've told my kids, if they're in a mall and they see more police than usual, leave. Maybe they had a call that there's something going to go down and they're there looking for it, or especially if they see security guards or law enforcement going through trash cans, looking in places like that. It's like someone must have called a bomb threat in. That's what they're looking for. So let's just leave. I mean, if we pay that little bit of attention to that, you know, you see a gang going into the mall. Well, you need to go out the other end. You know, maybe they're there to do shopping. Maybe they're there to cause trouble. You know, we've got to keep our heads on a swivel. Knowing what you're dressed for when you go to a sporting event. You dress for the sporting event. You wear your team colors. You dress for the weather. You know, the people that are there to do harm, they're dressed to do harm. They're not there for the event. So, you know, when it's warm out and the guy's wearing the big winter jacket, that might be something worth noticing. You know, the guy with the long sleeves, the black shirt, when everybody else has on their scarlet and gray if they're Ohio State fans, they should stick out. You know, I did some training where one person was there to fake assassinate whoever was speaking. It was like at a park event. And most of the guys in the training could pick that person out, because again, that person, he wasn't acting, of course, but he was pretending like he was trying to get close to the speaker. He was wearing different clothes. He was wearing bulky clothes to cover the handgun. You know, these are things that we can look for and notice, and then either keep a really good eye on it or get the heck out of there. You know, look for people acting strangely. You know, in Texas recently, a guy went off and stabbed a whole bunch of people in a hospital. And they said before that happened, he was just pacing, talking to himself, acting like weird, acting nervous. Well, that should have been a red flag for those people. Way back when President Reagan was attempted assassination, there was a picture of Mark David Chapman before Reagan came out, and he was biting his lip, you know, nervous. You know, these radical terrorists, they're there to die for their cause, but that doesn't mean that they're not sweating and shifting weight and biting their lip, and they know they're about to die. And nerves are probably something you would expect from that. So if somebody's acting out of place, they're acting nervous, they're acting weird, these are things we should take up on. We shouldn't just say, oh yeah, they're acting weird. I think we've all done this. You know, whether it's a friend, a stranger, something just was kind of odd, but you ignore it, and then later on when you find out the story, what was going on, you're like, oh, I felt something was odd. A very good book to read is Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. He tells us that we're actually picking things up, you know, our brain's picking things up that we don't know. Your brain is pretty sharp. It is really scanning things, reading things. You know, you hear of women's intuition. I always tell the ladies in the women's self-defense seminars, act on that. Your brain has picked something up. If you think somebody's creepy, there's a reason for that. You know, we can't worry about offending people, or it's a stranger. They're going to forget you were there 5 minutes later. So absolutely, that book was Blink, Malcolm Gladwell. Fascinating stuff. Things that after events happen, people are like, I knew something was fishy. Well, we've got to train our people. If we're instructors, we've got to train ourselves, our families, to act on those feelings. If you think something's fishy, something's probably fishy. And even if it's not, it's good practice. Yeah, I felt something fishy, so we got out of there. You know, think about in our churches, if somebody's acting extremely nervous, sitting in the back row, they've got a knapsack with them, we got to pay attention to this. Who brings a knapsack to church? So these are just things that we can absolutely keep ourselves and our families safe by noticing. Again, if we're in where there's a lot of people, keep an eye on people. Don't stick your head in your cell phone. We're looking all people dressed weird, people acting weird, communicating. You know, if you see a group of 5 or 6 communicating and then they all kind of spread out in different directions, well, that's odd. I've never done that with my friends. Maybe one of us leave to go get beers for the rest of them, but we all don't leave at the same time and spread out in different directions. Again, these are things that certainly we need to learn to notice and then act upon them. We don't want to be a statistic. Mark Slane, United States Krav Maga Association.